Hi, guys. Woo! All right. We're glad you're here. All right, everybody stand up for just a minute. I want you to turn around and shake hands with 3 people, and when you do it, say, let's get healthy. Let's get healthy. All right, glad you're here. I want to welcome all of you who are watching online for the Daniel Plan Rally, the first of 2014. All right, great. God bless you. Be seated. And welcome to the Daniel Plan Rally number 1, the first of 4 quarterly rallies for 2014. And very, very excited about this. You're gonna have a lot of fun in this session. So I don't want to waste any time. I want you to give a warm, rousing, saddleback welcome to the inimitable director of the Daniel Plan, Dee Eastman. Dee Eastman. There she is. Come on out. Woo-hoo! All right. At the end of the Daniel Plan, I will weigh what she weighs.
Woo! Thank you so much for coming, everyone. We're so glad that you're here. I just think you need to give yourselves a warm applause for being here at 3 o'clock on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. So go for it. It shows an amazing connection and commitment to your health, for your dedication to all that this next year will bring. We are so thrilled that you are here because we have so many practical tips to share. The service was just a fantastic taste of what's to come today. You'll hear so many more practical tips from each of our doctors, from Pastor Rick, from Sean Foy, from Tom Wilson. So we are so glad that we're here. We also have our signature chefs with us today. We'll be doing some food demonstrations. We would love you to leave this afternoon more ready, more prepared, a few more tips in your pocket that you can start even tonight eating a little differently, thinking a little differently, making a game plan for the week, and having the most amazing January, setting up some new routines, some new things that are really working for you in your life. So thank you so much for joining us. For those of you that were here at our service earlier today, or that have peeked at the book, you know that our program is based on 5 key areas of health. It's not a diet. It's an amazing, different way to look at your health. It's revolutionary. It gets back to the basics. We start with faith. Our cornerstone verse is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. As you've heard Mark Hyman talk, our next essential is food. And then we go to fitness, finding movement that we love. We then go on to focus, which is being transformed by the renewing of our mind. And then we go to friends, grabbing a buddy, doing it together, making it work for the long haul. We really invite you to join us to really join the 15,000 people that have already started the Daniel Plan from 191 countries that have lost a total of 250,000 pounds. You know what it's really about, though? It's not those big numbers. It's really about real people getting real results. I chose a picture of a couple of people that were a part of our ministry. It's Karen Quinn, Matt Browen, and Deborah Miller. These are real people, real results. Some needed to lose weight. Some had sleep issues. One had chronic fatigue. One had IBS. All of them had that symptom that Mark talked about of just not feeling good. Just not feeling good. And each of them took steps in community and experienced life change. Those are just a handful of stories, but the changes that were happening to them are more than available for each of us here in the room today and those of you that are watching online. It's amazing when you address not just one area of your health, like physical health, but when you really look at your spiritual foundation that you're building your life on. What if your food and fitness could actually be working for you in your life and bringing you more energy and vitality? If the friendships in your life were actually giving back to you and holding you some inspiration and accountability for the Daniel Plan? And what if the focus, because of all of that, was a shifted mindset to all that God would have for you in your life? I want to touch on just a couple of key principles, in fact, 4 key principles that when you hear each of our speakers today, when you hear Dr. Amen, Dr. Hyman, when you listen to our chefs, when you hear Sean, when you hear Tom, when you hear our fitness people, when you hear Pastor Rick with his biblical inspiration, as you're making these lifestyle changes, we've learned so many things on the Daniel Plan, but from talking to each one of you and seeing really how did you integrate all these numerous changes into your life, there was a couple of key things that stick out to me more than anything about how you really live this lifestyle and how you make it a part of your everyday life even a year from now. The first one is that our plan is about abundance, not deprivation. It's not so much about just what you take away in your life, it's about the numerous things that you add in. So when you go into look at your cupboard, I never just take stuff out of my cupboard. I go to Trader Joe's first. I look at the replacement list in the book. And when they say, okay, like don't eat all the white flours and all those simple carbs and all the things that Dr. Hyman takes about clearing out, well, I buy the 10 things then that I can eat. I get the brown rice, I get the lentils, I get some of the amazing hummus and vegetables, I get the kind of cereal that I can eat, the steel-cut oats for oatmeal. I just stock my fridge, I stock my pantry, I stock my cupboards at the office. I'm always the girl that has a snack in her purse. I always have a bar, I always have a piece of fruit, and I always have a bag of nuts. I never get hungry. Because this plan is not about deprivation. If we're gonna make it for the long haul, it's because we're satisfied. We're learning how to curb our cravings, we're not hungry. So as you're thinking about what these doctors are saying, think about it's about abundance, all the things you can add to your life. The next thing is it's about small steps equaling big results. I want you to leave here today. I'd love you to do the 10-day plan like Mark suggested, because I think immediately you'll feel better. You can grab your buddy and say, for 10 days, let's just go for it. Let's curb our cravings, let's feel better, let's get the inflammation down in our body. But when you think about making changes long term, I want you just to grab a hold of a few things and then I want you to build on them. Because those small changes over time have amazing, amazing results. About 5 years ago, one of my relatives that was gluten-free said that I was not only not gluten-free, but that my pantry looked like the gluten fest. I'm Italian. So I have like the sourdough bread and the bagels and the cereals and all that. It might have been all whole wheat, but it was just such a predominant part of my diet back then. And so when I started to make changes, it was just a little bit at a time. And then I started trying almond milk instead of dairy. I started thinking of gratitudes every day, like Dr. Hyman said, or Dr. Amen says. I started building my life even in a stronger foundation of faith with my times that I hid away with God every day in His Word. I made those changes little by little, but over time, by the end of the year, boy, those changes really add up. So do not be overwhelmed today by the number of things you hear. Grab a few of those, integrate them, and keep going throughout the year. The next one is about progress, not perfection. I do not want anyone beating them up if they don't do the plan perfectly. If you don't become like Mark Hyman or Daniel Amen overnight, we're not expecting it. If you have a bad day and you're ready for the double-double and the triple scoop of ice cream and the latte before you go home, you chalk it up as a bad day. You do what your GPS system does when you get lost. You just make a U-turn. And you call a friend and say, you know what, I had a bad day. But you know what, a bad day is not the end of the world. In fact, Dr. Amen says that bad days equal good data. They equal good data because it's such a gracious plan. So if I have a bad day, I'm going to say, you know, why did I have that bad day? What was going on in my life that made me go to those different places where I felt like I needed to overeat, my stress level was so high? Well, you know what? Maybe it's that I didn't sleep very well that night. Maybe I'm not handling the stress well enough at work and I need to do myself a little different at work. Maybe there was an unresolved relationship issue in my life. I need to be held shorter accounts. Maybe I didn't have my pantry stocked at work, so I went out for that double-double at lunch because I skipped breakfast. I didn't have anything to eat midday, and so of course at lunch, I didn't have any ability to make a good decision. So it just gives you pause in your life. I'd love it in the Daniel plan if you could take pause to reflect and to think through these things. You can go, this is why. Let me just make some mid-course corrections, realizing it's just about progress. It's never about perfection, because those small steps will really add up. And lastly, it's our hope and prayer that you'll begin to shift your mindset. And to me, shifting your mindset is just taking hold of all that God would have for you. You know, we have the purpose-driven pastor that's written The Purpose-Driven Life. What would God's purpose be for your life? He's created you for a purpose. He's designed you to be thriving in life and to give back to the world, only in a way that you can do with your unique gift mix and design. So when there's promises like Ephesians 3:20, that God will do immeasurably more than all we can ask or imagine. When it says in Philippians, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. You know, sometimes I've found that it's hard to be able to embrace those principles when we feel a little bit beaten up in life. So if you're here today and you've had a hard run at things, Maybe 2013 was one of those years that had some circumstances that caught you off guard, that you could know there's great hope for change. Against all odds, as you work these 5 essentials together, they can be so building and gracious in your life. And I speak from the thousands of people I've heard that it's worked for, whether it's been a great year or a hard year, and I speak from personal experience, because I know what it's like to hit a bottom place in health, and that's why I'm so passionate and so thrilled that I get to be able to be part of the Daniel Plan. I gave birth to triplet girls after already having 2 kids, so we have 5 at home, and I have a set of triplets, and 2 of my triplets have cerebral palsy. Megan Ann Eastman, raise your hand. There's Megan right over here in the turquoise. Megan is in a wheelchair and is just the most amazing person in our life. And I've learned so much, the thick and thin, the ups and downs in life. And sometimes life throws you a curveball, and that curveball can be stressful, and that stress can affect our health. And so your circumstances may be different than mine, but I had a whole health snowball that rallied as a result of my stress that happened in my situation. And you know what? It was these very 5 essentials that brought me back to a very healthy life. It was food as medicine. It was finding movement I enjoy. It was doing it in a community of friends. It was practicing focus in a different mindset. And all of it was building my life on the foundation of faith, of claiming God's truth and God's promises. So today, those promises are just as true for each of you in this room as they were for me and the 15,000 participants. So I am absolutely thrilled that you are here so we can grow together. Ultimately, my favorite word for the Daniel Plan, I think the Daniel Plan equals hope. Because hope in those places where we need the most is what we long for. And I am so thrilled that we get to do it together. So you guys ready to get started? Woo! Well, I have the honor and privilege. We're going to be starting out our day with Mark Hyman. Who heard him this morning already? Woo! Probably brought you back hearing Mark Hyman the first time, right? Mark has dedicated his career to identifying and addressing root causes of chronic illness through a whole systems medicine approach known as functional medicine. He's a physician, co-author of the Daniel Plan, 4 times New York Times best-selling author, and an internationally recognized leader in the field. We are so thrilled to have him as one of our founding doctors. Let's give it up for Mark Hyman. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Saddleback, I'm glad to be back. Y'all ready to get healthy? All right. I have a question for you all. A very, very important question. If Jesus came to dinner, what would you feed him? Would you give him a Big Mac, fries, and a Coke? Right? Would you feed him all the junk that we feed ourselves, that we feed our guests when they come to dinner, or would you eat real food? You know, if God lives within you, why are you feeding him crap? Right? So it's very simple. The Daniel Plan principles of food are very simple. Leave the food that man made. Leave the food that man made and eat the food that God made. This is not food that God made. Factory-made science projects that are made in industrial food systems that are empty of any real nutrition are not the foods our bodies were designed to eat. They're hyper-palatable, hyper-addictive, hyper-processed foods that hijack our metabolism and our brain chemistry and our taste buds and rob us of our health and vitality. 70% of Americans and 40% of kids are overweight now. 1 in 2 Americans has either prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. 90% of people with prediabetes have no idea they have it, including many of you in this room. I call this the United States of diabesity, which is a sad state of affairs, but it is fixable. Now, the real change that has happened in the world rarely happens in institutions like governments or corporations. They happen in communities. They happen at grassroots levels. They happen in places where we all live and work and play and pray and eat. Health doesn't happen in the doctor's office, right? Health happens where we eat, where we live, where we work, where we play and pray. That's where health happens. And it's really quite simple. It's really quite simple. We just have to eat the food that God made, and we can take back our health. This is the food that God made. It's fruits and vegetables. It's lean protein, chicken, fish, sustainably raised meat, nuts and seeds, eggs, whole soy products, really simple food. This is the foundation of the Daniel Plan. In the Daniel Plan book, we lay out the principles of healthy eating, which is real, whole, fresh food. It's real, whole, fresh food that is the food that God made, not that man made. Now, when you think about it, it's really simple. It's a goof-proof plan that will give you the tools you need to succeed. It's not complicated, and it's available to everybody right now. Now, does anybody in this room have what I call FLC syndrome? Yes, we have a few people. FLC syndrome stands for I feel like crap. Right? We all know what that feels like. We don't have the energy to do what we want to do. We have a whole list of problems: joint pain, fatigue, digestive issues, headaches, sinus problems, allergies. We might have more serious things like diabetes or autoimmune diseases. We have problems that we go to the doctor and see many, many doctors and don't get solutions for, because it's not a deficiency of a medication. It's a problem with what we're eating and how we're living. You know, this is a whole list of problems you don't have to have. I call myself a holistic doctor because I take care of people with a whole list of symptoms. So the Daniel Plan is your shortcut to reversing those symptoms. I personally had FLC, which is chronic fatigue syndrome. 20 years ago, you can see how I looked over 20 years ago and how I look today. I feel and look completely different because I use the most powerful drug on the planet to change my life. And this is a drug that shows up at the end of your fork. It's food. Food is the most powerful medicine on the planet. It works faster, better, and is cheaper than any other drug. It's available to almost everybody on the planet, and it has almost no side effects, only good ones. And yet most of us don't realize how what we eat is connected to how we feel. Even the smartest people I've met in the world, and I work with presidents and kings and world leaders, I work with heads of corporations and CEOs, some of the smartest people you would ever want to meet, Harvard professors, and they are completely clueless that how they feel is related to how they are eating, moving, resting, all the things we talk about in the Daniel Plan. The 5 F's, they are completely clueless that has anything to do with how they feel. The Daniel Plan is really a roadmap for you, a toolkit for you to take back your health. The Daniel Plan book, the curriculum, the journal, the cookbook coming out, these are all the tools we need to succeed. So the key to success is very simple. First, you let go of the bad and you let in the good. You take out the bad stuff, you put in the good stuff. Your body is brilliant. God designed our bodies to work. How do you get back to the original factory settings, right? How do you turn the dials and reset your body so that you can actually feel good again? Most people think that the symptoms they feel or the way they are or their weight, these are things that are just inexorable. They can't change, they're fixed, and there's nothing they can do to make a difference. The truth is you can make a difference. This was Gail. She was 40 pounds overweight. She had headaches, sinus problems, irritable bowel, eczema, acne, depression. She had fatigue. You name it, she had it. And she was able to relieve all those symptoms and all these other chronic issues that come as a result of how we're living. This was Gail before and after. And Gail, her headaches went away. She lost 40 pounds. Her skin cleared up. Her depression improved. She had better energy, and she had brain fog. How many of you have brain fog? Oh my goodness. You know, this is only a few days away from getting better. A few days away. In 10 days, doing the Daniel Plan 10-day detox, okay? This is in the Daniel Plan book. It's what I invite you all to do. It's 10 days to return to your original factory settings, to see how much of how you feel and what's going on is related to what you're eating and how you're living. In 10 days, there was a 62% reduction in all symptoms from all diseases. There is no drug on the planet that can do that except food. What you put at the end of your fork is more powerful than anything you'll ever find in a prescription bottle. The problem is we don't know what to do. We've been so confused and bamboozled and hijacked by the food industry, the $1 trillion food industry, and our choices are limited and our environments are toxic. We live in a toxic nutritional landscape, so it's very hard to make the right choices. But you can, and you can get better, and you can not only lose weight, but you can get healthy, and you can get your life back. You know, when you think about it, the Daniel Plan is not a weight loss program. It's the science of creating health. And the weight loss is just a side effect. People lost 250,000 pounds in a year doing the Daniel Plan here, not because it was a weight loss program, because it was simply about the science of creating health. That's why we've designed it, to give you the energy you need to live the life you want. When you think about why we created the Daniel Plan, it wasn't to create another diet book. We don't need that. What we need is a way for people to be able to engage fully in their lives. Why did we create the Daniel Plan? Because we want people to feel good. We want people to have the energy to live their life, to love the way they should love, to do the work they want to do in their community, in their lives, to fulfill the missions they have, to serve God, to do the things that we all want to do to make the world a better place. The Daniel Plan is about transforming the world. The Daniel Plan is not a book, it's a movement. And you are all part of that movement. You are all the nucleus of that movement that we hope will spread across the world to 1 billion people. There are now over 1.5 billion people who are overweight and sick with chronic disease in the world. The world needs this. It's not just America, it's everywhere. We are exporting our toxins like sugar and flour. The average American has 146 pounds of sugar, 146 pounds of flour, and 152 pounds of sugar every year. That's about a pound of sugar and flour combined for every man, woman, and child in America. Now, I know I'm not eating that much, so some of you must be having a little more, right? And you know who you are. Now, we say, you know, I love my cookies. I love my soda. I love my pasta. I love my whatever the word is. And I'm going to tell you something that's a very important scientific fact. That's not love. That's addiction. It's addiction. And I don't mean it metaphorically. I don't mean it's like, you know, really kind of like an addiction. I mean it's a biological addiction. Let me explain. A friend of mine at Harvard, David Ludwig, did a study where he took 2 different kinds of milkshakes and he fed them to the same group of overweight people on different days. One of them was a trick milkshake. They looked and tasted exactly the same number of calories, protein, fat, and carbs, but one had a carbohydrate that raised the blood sugar quickly and one didn't, kept the blood sugar even. When they did the study on their brain imaging and when they looked at their behavior, the ones who had the shake that raised their blood sugar quickly, they were hungrier. They craved more sugar. They craved more carbs. They didn't know they were eating a different kind of milkshake. But what was really amazing was that the area in their brain that is the ground zero for addiction lit up like a Christmas tree. It went crazy. And this is the area that lights up with cocaine or heroin. So if you think that you can control your eating behavior by willpower, forget it. If I said to you, I want you to hold your breath for 15 minutes underwater, and I'll give you $1 million, could you do it? You couldn't, because we are hardwired to crave oxygen. We're hardwired to crave sugar and refined starches and flours. So we have to learn how to reset our hormones and our brain chemistry and take our bodies back. Sugar is 8 times as addictive as cocaine. When given a chance, rats will always switch from cocaine to sugar. If rats are given a choice of cocaine or Oreo cookies, they go for the Oreo cookies, and so do we. Here's the bad news, though. You can't just exercise your way out of a bad diet. Exercise is critical, but you have to walk 4.5 miles to burn off 1 20-ounce soda. You have to run 4 miles every single day for a week to burn off 1 supersized meal. You have to run a marathon every day if you ate a supersized meal every day. You can't exercise your way out of a bad diet. Exercise is critical, it's essential, it's one of the 5 F's, but it is not the answer to a bad diet. Here's another point you need to know. This is what I call one of the major food lies. All calories are created equal. This is not true. Oh, well, you could just have, 100-calorie snack pack of Oreos. That's okay. It's only 100 calories. A lie. Why? Because in your body, they're not the same. Let me explain. Overeating doesn't make you fat. This is probably big news to all of you. Overeating doesn't make you fat. Eating the wrong foods makes you fat and sick. Eating the wrong foods. So if you focus on eating the right foods, you don't have to worry about counting calories or worrying about any of those things that we're all trying to do. A 20-ounce soda has 15 teaspoons of sugar. It's a lot of sugar. You wouldn't put that much sugar in your coffee, but you would do it. When you have that much, it's about 240 calories. You spike your blood sugar, you raise your triglycerides, you lower your good cholesterol, you raise your bad cholesterol. In men, your testosterone goes down. They lose their body hair. It makes women infertile. It makes women go bald and then grow facial hair. So if you keep drinking soda, by the time men and women are about 65, they look about the same. Now, if you have the same number of calories of broccoli, right, that's 7.5 cups of broccoli. Good luck if you can eat it. You might have some side effects, a little gas maybe, okay? But what would happen to your body if you ate 240 calories of broccoli? Well, these are slow carbs. They're not fast, quickly absorbed carbs. It will promote weight loss. It will reduce cholesterol, prevent cancer, reduce inflammation, and help you get rid of environmental toxins. Same calories, very different effect on your body and metabolism. So all calories are not created equal. Very important. So you have to learn how to choose the right food. And that's why we want you to start with the Daniel Plan Detox. It's 10 days to radical health. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do anything for 10 days. You don't have to believe Pastor Rick or myself or Dr. Amen or any of the chefs. You just have to do it for 10 days. You've got nothing to lose except your symptoms and your lack of vitality. And if what we're saying is true, and we've tested it with thousands and thousands of people, your life will never be the same. It'll be 10 days to the rest of your life. So you start with the Daniel Plan plate, which is a simple model we've created for how to eat. Half of your plate should be non-starchy vegetables, a quarter should be protein, and a quarter can be a whole grain or starchy vegetable like sweet potatoes. You should have low glycemic fruit, apples, berries, and so forth, and water, herbal tea. You should not be drinking anything that has got sugar in it, no liquid sugar. Step 1 of the 5 steps is eliminate flour and sugar. These are the 2 most addictive substances known to man. And these are highly processed foods that are available to us all over the place. It's a toxic minefield. So if you get rid of these things for 10 days, you'll see what happens to your body. And I include artificial sweeteners because we've shown that drinking artificial sweeteners will increase your risk of type 2 diabetes and obesity. It increases your cravings and hunger and slows your metabolism. So if there's no artificial sweeteners. Step 2, get rid of processed foods. If it's in a can, a box, a package, and if it has a label, don't eat it. If it has a health claim on the label, especially don't eat it, right? Like a whole grain cereal, breakfast cereal. Guess what? Most cereals maybe have a few sprinkled whole grains in them, but it's 75% sugar. It shouldn't be called breakfast. It should be called dessert, right? So stay away from high fructose corn syrup, trans fats, or MSG in anything. These 3 things are hidden in almost all your food and are sabotaging your metabolism. It's like food terrorism. Step 3 is take a break from gluten and dairy. These are 2 substances in our diet: wheat, barley, rye, oats, milk, cheese, dairy. These are things that for many people cause a lot of inflammation. And inflammation causes you to feel badly. So for 10 days, stop those. Step 4, eat whole, real, fresh food. Eat food that God made. Leave food that man made. Very simple. This is the food that God made, real food. You all know what it is. You don't need to have a PhD in nutrition to know what I'm talking about. And food is full of information. It's full of instructions that teaches your body what to do every second. We're going to talk about that when we do a food demo in a minute. But these foods are powerful shifts that will happen in your genes. You literally change your genes with every bite. You change the way your genes, which ones are turned on or off. So if you want to fit into your genes, you have to fit into your genes, right? You can have designer genes if you know how to design your genes using the right foods, okay? And you also need to understand the role of phytonutrients and antioxidants. These are powerful molecules that God put in food to work with our bodies to heal them. Chemicals in darkly colored fruits and vegetables. So you should be eating the rainbow. Step 5, eat protein and fat at every meal. Good quality protein fat. It helps balance your blood sugar. It cuts your cravings. It balances your metabolism. And it makes you lose weight automatically. Eggs, poultry, sustainably raised meat, small wild fish, nuts and seeds, and even whole soy products. Fat is not a four-letter word. Fat does not make you fat. Sugar makes you fat. So you want the good fats like extra virgin olive oil, coconut butter, avocado, eggs, nuts and seeds, and nut butters. Fat makes us feel full. It cuts our appetite, blocks our cravings, and helps us lose weight. If you look at all the research on fat and weight loss, there's no evidence that eating fat makes you fat, despite the fact that we've had 30 years of low fat being shoved down our throats. It's the wrong message. It's why we now have 70% of us overweight. Now, there are two simple strategies for success that are included in the Daniel Plan. The first is track your behavior, and that's why there's a Daniel Plan journal. And that's why there's a tents outside where you can know your numbers, your weight, your waist size, your height, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and ideally your blood sugar. You track what you're eating, you track what you're doing. Simply the act of tracking will double your success. Just writing it down, you'll lose twice as much weight. Second is design your life. You have to redesign your life for success. You have to change what's in your kitchen. You have to change what's in your workplace. You have to change what's in your environment. We changed the green room. Pastor Rick used to have all kinds of junk in there. We got rid of it all. We did a Navy SEAL raid on his green room and cleaned it out. What's available now at Saddleback is good food now. So you have to change your environment, and there's strategies for designing your eating life in the Daniel Plan book. Now, I'm going to leave you with one last thought. What is the smallest unit of health? What we've learned from the science is extraordinary about how health is created. The smallest unit of health is community, because we affect each other. What we eat, how we live, what we do, we learn from the people around us. You're more likely to be overweight if your friend's friend is overweight than if your parents are overweight. And you're more likely to eat healthy if the people around you are eating healthy. You see what happens when people go out to dinner with me. They're like incredibly nervous and they worry about what they're eating, and it's very funny. But just a positive peer pressure of people who are doing things together to help each other is powerful. Health is membership. So I would also call this the love diet. We love each other well. We love each other to health. I want to leave you with one last study, which is a fascinating study about how community plays a role in health. We all have something called brown fat, which is very metabolically active fat, and it burns at a very hot level. And when this fat is activated, you lose weight and you burn belly fat. It's very hard to get it to turn on. It turns on when you either have very intense cold stress, or in this study, they used a different technique. They put rats together in a cage, in a community. They didn't overcrowd them, but they put a nice bunch of friendly rats together. And after 4 weeks, here's what happened. After 4 weeks, there was a 50% reduction in their belly fat. So if you want to lose belly fat, go right out after this service and join a small group, okay? It's your shortcut to health. And that's why we're doing this here at the church, because this is a church where community is alive. This is a church where we work together to get healthy and create better lives and change the world. Let's join together and take back our health. We are starting a movement here, and you are all part of those health revolutionaries that are going to change the world forever. Thank you very much. Bring out our signature chefs from the Daniel Plan. Jenny and Robert and Sally and Maria are all going to come and help us make some delicious food and eat great food together.
Thank you, Mark Hyman. Mark already mentioned, but we have our 4 signature chefs with the Daniel Plan here. We have Chef Sally, Chef Jenny, Chef Robert, Chef Maria. 3 of them contributed and made our cookbook that's coming out in March, and 1 of them contributed to our 40-day food plan within our book. They're an amazing team. And are you guys ready for some fun food demonstrations? Yes? We're going to be serving a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, and a snack. And Dr. Amen and Dr. Hyman and I get all the privilege of getting to taste everything while they're making it. Okay, chefs, it's all yours.
Well, we're going to start today with actually Dr. Hyman's whole food smoothie. And this is such a great testament to how calories are not created equal.
That's right.
And it's such a great way to start the day. And focus and food are important in the first few hours of the day, right? Critical. And this one's got some great brain food and just a ton of whole natural proteins. So we're going to start with a quick, easy almond milk. We're just gonna throw some almond butter into the blender as it's one of the key ingredients in this recipe, and add some water. No more boxed milk. You guys can do this in seconds at home. Just add the water there. For every 1 tablespoon of almond butter, you just need 1 cup of water, and you can use this with other snack beverages, and also things like granola, maybe a buckwheat granola, which would be gluten-free. We're just gonna blend that up real quick. And I'm using a high-powered blender, but any basic blender will work for your needs in the kitchen. And it's a lot of fun when you get into the Daniel Plan, when you really move forward with your kitchen tools, because it's an easy way to upgrade your kitchen and start making some of the incredible things like we're gonna have here today, sauces and so forth. So now, what is it, Dr. Hyman? A banana?
A banana, yes.
He's hungry.
That was a trick question.
It's a trick question. Banana for the potassium, right? And also some great healthy calories, and then some organic blueberries.
Yes, and you can use wild blueberries that are lower in sugar, and they're full of phytonutrients and cancer-fighting chemicals, immune-boosting chemicals. Anything that's got dark, rich color is a healing food.
Isn't that incredible? And then we have some chia seeds.
What are the chia seeds?
Chia seeds are amazing. They're not just making a chia pet, which we all, but they actually are full of protein, omega-3 fats. They have more calcium than milk. They have a rich texture to them when you get them soaked in water like tapioca, and they're a wonderful addition to your diet.
We also threw some hemp seeds in, which are a great plant source of protein.
Hemp seeds are also have omega-3 fats, protein, and are very, very healthy for you. Lots of fiber. Oh, coconut butter is my favorite. That's brain food.
That's
literally
right,
brain
brain
food.
food, right?
The
You
fuel
guys,
that your brain
these can
cells
be
use.
used anytime too. You can use them in a smoothie. You can always put them on your oatmeal. Where else do you put them, Jenny?
I love them in my salads. Just sprinkle them on top instead of cheese. It's a great cheese replacement, and really
They
amps up
taste
the
delicious
protein.
and it gives you extra energy. It's great.
Yeah, and then of course some walnuts.
The walnuts are, again, full of fiber, protein, good fats, alpha-linoleic acid, omega-3s. All this is medicine.
And walnuts are shaped like a brain.
That's
And
right.
what a lot of people don't know is your brain is 60% fat. So low-fat diets are bad for your brain. So all this fat is really great to feed your brain.
So, Dr. Amen, are you saying we're all fatheads?
When someone calls you a fathead, Matt,
That's a good thing. It's a compliment.
say thank you.
Actually, someone says you have fish for brains. You actually want fish for brains because that's where all the omega-3 fats come from.
Nice.
So that's what you're getting.
And then we have 4 Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are extremely high in selenium.
Yes, selenium is a very important mineral. It's an antioxidant, cancer preventer, helps you detox from mercury, helps your thyroid work. It's just a wonderful food.
And it will grow your hair, so I need more.
All right, oh wait, I don't have any more than the 4, but you can double down anytime. And then of course you could always add some additional greens to the smoothie if you like. Would add some more protein to the smoothie and get those greens in without having to have a salad. This is my favorite. It's lacinato kale. It's sort of shaped like the back of a dinosaur, so they call it dinosaur kale sometimes. It's also really easy to grow, so this is a fun one if you're starting to add more to your garden in the
And
backyard.
it grows all year long, practically, in California.
Right. So we're just gonna blend it up, and then we're gonna taste it.
And you can also get very creative with this. I put lemon in it. I put frozen cranberries. I put different kinds of nuts. I put pumpkin seeds in it. So you can kind of be creative about it. It's just the basic concept of nuts and wild fruit and good fats and staying low on the starchy stuff, right?
And it's a beautiful color, and we eat with our eyes first, so it's really important to pay attention to what's going in, and I think we have a few different doctors here, so I'm gonna try to get at least 3 cups. A standard serving size of this is gonna be 16 ounces as a breakfast replacement. And it's a great way to start the day. You're 30% more likely to eat healthy throughout the day if you start the day off right. This is a fantastic example.
Wait,
I
say
mean-
that again,
down.
Jenny. That was a really good statistic.
Yeah,
I eat this
30%.
every morning before I go to work at the office, and I eat at 7 o'clock, and by 1 o'clock, I'm starting to get hungry. It keeps me going the entire morning. My blood sugar stays even. I have energy. I can be focused with patients. It's very powerful. How you start your day is really how you'll end your day. If you start your day with junk, you're going to end your day with junk. If you start your day with real food and protein and good fat, you'll be even the whole day. It's the single most important thing you can do.
And when it comes to the Daniel Plan Kitchen, anyone can do this. You can do this with your kids. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can do this twice a day if you want. It's a great way to start upgrading your diet and start running with the Daniel Plan.
I I just want to say too, for some of you, some of these ingredients might be new to you. For like 3 years ago, they were very new to me. I'm like, hemp seed, chia seed. What is that? Where do you get it?
Yeah.
You know, you can actually
And
get
what
it.
planet are you from?
Say it again.
And what planet are you from?
Exactly. I was like, what is that? But these ingredients are available, and I keep them in one area, so it's really quick in the morning. I grab my almond milk, I add some of my frozen organic berries, I have my hemp and my chia seed, and I'm ready to go. So it can actually be like a 2 to 3 minute experiment in the morning, and you are satisfied all day.
Another quick tip too is just to go ahead and take all those great ingredients, put them in a cup. You can line up 4 or 5 cups or mason jars and keep them all in the refrigerator so that if you are, having a busy morning, you can just throw it in and go. So that's another, shortcut method to make it even easier.
Nice.
It's faster than going through the drive-thru at McDonald's.
It's true.
And definitely the line at Starbucks, right?
And definitely faster than the line at Starbucks.
Okay, so what's for lunch?
Okay. You guys ready for lunch? I think it's lunchtime now.
I just had breakfast. I don't know, I'm not.
Next course, let's do it. So I'm going to show you how to make a citrus marinade. And here's the thing, when you go to the store and you pick up a dressing or a marinade, oftentimes it's just full of sodium, high fructose corn syrup, sugars, modified food starches. I mean, things that
MSG,
you have to know
trans fats,
labelese, it's a different language. So 4 simple ingredients are the base of this, and then we're gonna add citrus, and it just smells so good. It lifts your mood, so tasty. So I've got some Meyer lemons here. I picked these up from the store, and I've also got some limes, and then some extra virgin olive oil, balsamic vinegar, crushed pepper, and a little sea salt, and that's it. And make sure when you're making a marinade like this to
food that
use
God
the
made.
imagine that, all from the ground. But what's beautiful is the zest. More nutrients in the
Yes.
zest, in the peel, and that's a fancy word for peel, by the way, in that than in the fruit itself, in the juice. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a couple tablespoons of my oil, and I'm gonna start actually with the vinegar here.
And these are all powerful healing drugs. The olive oil has polyphenols that are powerful anti-cancer compounds, reduce heart disease. 1 liter of olive oil a week, they reduce heart attacks by 50% in one study. The limonene in the lemon peel, again, it's a powerful detoxifier. It helps you get rid of all the environmental chemicals.
Yep, and I've got a metal bowl here. It's easy to emulsify these two together, and emulsify is just a fancy word for mixing them. So I'm gonna take that, and then I'm gonna add my citrus. I've got my, I just love lemon. Who likes lemon here? I mean, it just makes me happy, I've got my lemon, I've got my lime. Get your hands in there too, don't be scared. Cooking is all about having fun. It's about being creative, it's about putting your personal stamp on it. If you find grapefruit in the store, use that. Use orange, whatever is in season, and I'm a big fan of eating seasonally. Whatever is fresh, that's what you go for. Can you guys smell that back there?
Oh.
I bet you can.
Smells good up here.
Really
Get
good.
your nose in there, Mark. Okay, and then just a little hit of my pepper. And I've also got some different fresh herbs out here. I roasted some peppers and mushrooms, but I've got some fresh oregano
Oh, wow.
and some rosemary. Get
Wow.
crazy, add a little bit of that into your
Beautiful.
marinade too. And I'm gonna mix that up. And then what I'm gonna do here, I've got a couple of ways. Now you can use this marinade for your meats and your vegetables, but you can also use it as a salad dressing. How versatile is that? You make that up
So
at the
great.
beginning of the week, and then you've got lots of different things that you can do with it. I'm gonna take my greens here, and I've got a mixture of baby spinach and arugula. I'm gonna just toss that right into the bathtub here,
Wow.
and I'm gonna mix that up.
And that's a really powerful combination of greens too. That's at least 5 grams of protein per serving, right?
Love it.
And calcium and phytonutrients and cancer-fighting compounds.
And you can do your kale, like Jenny was mentioning. I love lacinato kale in there. Microgreens. Just so simple, Food should be simple. It shouldn't be complicated.
Yeah, and it doesn't take forever, and it doesn't take a long time. There's a big myth that cooking and eating well takes a long time, costs a lot of money, and is really difficult to do. It's not. It's very simple. Using a few simple principles.
Yep. And I've got my organic chicken here that I've also marinated with that same marinade. I'm gonna lay that on top. And then my roasted peppers and my mushrooms.
Yum.
Thank Mark's gonna steal the salad.
What a beautiful color, too. That's
I'm still full
definitely
from
the eating
breakfast.
with the rainbow.
You do eat with your eyes.
I
It's
do,
so
Colin.
true. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then you can do this. I've got some olives here, too. And good fats from olives. Don't be scared of those good fats.
You'll
Even
see how
some
pretty
avocado.
that looks? Can you see how pretty that looks?
And then you can do the same. I've got a gluten-free wrap. Did you know they make gluten-free wraps? They sure do. And this is brown rice. So I can do the same thing, the same ingredients basically. And look, I've got a whole different kind of meal. And this is portable. You can take it on the road. Please do yourself a favor and don't ever get stuck hungry.
Yes.
You pack your lunch in the morning, get this ready to go, and then you never have to worry about being stuck without something to eat.
That's one of the
because-
things we have in the Daniel Plan book is how to never be in a food emergency again. Because when you're in a food emergency, you're going to eat whatever's around. But if you plan a little bit and put things in your car, in your kitchen, in your workplace, you always have them, you're never stuck. When I go on the plane, I've got all these little packets of stuff, real nut butters, real food, and you just never get in trouble. So you don't have to go buying something junky because you're hungry.
Yep.
I have to tell you, Mark talks about not having a food emergency. Yesterday, he almost got snowed in, and so he was late. And so his texting, we were doing
I
all
didn't
these
want to be in a
texting
food
about,
emergency.
like, what about this flight? What about this? Oh, I might get on this. Da, da, da. And then he goes, are you going to have dinner for me when I get there? I'm like, yes, we're going to take care of you.
Yeah.
And then this morning, when we were it was like 10 o'clock, he goes, are you going to have lunch for me? So we never get in a food emergency.
Well, no, that's
never.
important. I think that's an important
No,
fact.
it
I
is. It
think
is.
about
It's
my
planning,
food. I
right.
plan what we're doing, and that's why I feel good and I'm thin because I think about what I'm doing. I'm not just randomly eating. I'm not an opportunistic feeder.
I like that.
So focus.
I'm focused.
You're
yeah.
focused on doing the right thing.
Nice.
And instead of a side of chips, we've got a side of just a nice little
Beautiful.
salad here on
Awesome,
the side.
Cucumber chips.
Yeah.
You guys
There
see
you
this?
go.
So
Yeah,
she took
that's
the
fun.
same ingredients as her salad. She took the mushrooms, the peppers, the arugula and spinach, the chicken, put it all in a wrap with a little bit of veggies on the side. She was ready to go.
And you can pack that up in the morning and you've got lunch.
It's great.
Nice. You guys, let's give her a hand.
Good job.
Thank you.
The one thing I really love about all of our chefs is they do a lot of 2-for-1s. Like Jenny just talked about the idea of putting all the ingredients in for 4 or 5 days. With Maria, if she makes this chicken and chops up the peppers and the mushrooms, it can be for a couple meals. It can be for your dinner, it can be a leftover at lunch, it can be the flaxseed, and Robert always has tips, and Sally as well. It's just making the least amount of time you need to in your kitchen for the most that you can enjoy during the week.
And these are the doctors of the future, right here. You won't need us. If you just eat what they're making, you will not need us.
Sally's
A lot
got a great
less.
dinner happening down here. I might eat it all before she
Smelling pretty good down
We haven't
here.
had lunch either.
Yeah, I know. That's good.
Okay, now Sally's gonna do a little dinner.
Right, I'm doing a little bit of dinner. This is a Thai-inspired stir fry, and stir fries go very quickly. Stir fries have a lot of vegetables in them, and we're doing this one right now with some tempeh, which is basically from soy. And I'm just browning it up here in a little bit of coconut oil. You can use an olive oil, but a coconut oil is also a super fantastic, healthy fat to cook with. If you haven't tried coconut oil, please get yourself a jar of unrefined coconut oil and use a little bit. And if you think, oh, I don't like the flavor of coconut, you really will hardly even taste it. So it's just fantastic. If you haven't tried coconut oil, healthy fats, good brain fat, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, and you don't have to
In fact,
worry.
they're using coconut oil as a treatment for people who have Alzheimer's.
Oh, wow.
That's
Now,
right.
they still have to study that more, but a number of people have noticed significant improvement. The fats you use matter.
And it actually
Yeah.
helps increase sports performance. They're using it as a performance enhancer
Oh,
because it's
cool.
the super fuel for your cells for energy production.
Fantastic. So what I did in the coconut oil, I cubed and then browned up some of the tempeh. You can find that in the refrigerated section of a grocery store. You can buy organic. And then we're adding a lot of vegetables, lots of color. I can talk about eating from the rainbow, all the nutrients here. A little bit of baby zucchini, a little bit of red bell pepper. I've got some diced up carrot. I put a little bit of ginger in, and ginger is a fantastic healing spice.
Very anti-inflammatory.
Yep, and it's great for your digestion too, right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So this just takes a couple of minutes to cook, and that is all. I'm going to add in some diced up snow peas. I'm doing it in a non-stick pan. Now I'm doing this with tempeh, but you can do it with shrimp. You can do it with diced up chicken. You can do it with diced up turkey. So you have a lot of different protein options.
And the tempeh is a great source of protein that doesn't raise your blood sugar, and it's made from whole soybeans,
Right.
and it's fermented, so it's got a lot of benefits to it.
It's got a lot of texture. It's very meaty. If you're trying to do some meatless Mondays or some meatless meals and do a little bit more vegetarian eating in your diet, this is a great way to go because it sort of feels like meat when you eat it, so it's very satisfying. Okay? So, and also like Maria was saying, use vegetables that are in season. So you can do that. But then all we're going to do at the end
Isn't
here-
everything in season in California all the time?
Yeah, it is. We're spoiled.
I live in Massachusetts. Like, all we can get are potatoes in the winter.
So then, oh, it smells so good. I just threw in some garlic. Of course, who could live without garlic? And then some red onion. Look at the colors in this. I mean, look at that. Doesn't that
And
look
look all the
healthy?
different textures you have there
Yeah.
too. That's really nice. It's beautiful.
Delicious. So just a couple of minutes. All you need to do is cook it and stir it at a fairly high heat until the vegetables are just, you can barely pierce them with a paring knife. You want them to be tender, kind of al dente. And then we're going to just put this over a little bit of coconut rice. So you can cook brown rice with half water and half coconut milk, and it gives it a very creamy, nice flavor and a texture.
Great idea.
So we'll add this.
Coconut's so fun.
Oh, I love coconut.
I just love it.
I'm thinking this dinner took about 5 minutes to make.
Yeah,
All of her stuff was
that's it.
cut up ahead of time, but I could handle a 5-minute experience when I get home from work.
Yeah, and that's a good point.
Very
You know,
great.
if you have time on the weekend or a time in the morning, you go dice up your vegetables, put them in little containers, get them out of the fridge when you walk in the door, get your pan out right away, and you can have dinner on the table in no time flat. And if you have extra, this makes such a good lunch. Don't go to a fast food place and get a rice bowl. Take your own rice, take your leftover vegetables and whatever your healthy protein is, and warm it up, and you've got a great lunch.
Nice.
So it's good for you and will explode with flavor. And if you look at it, it looks like a rainbow. It's one of the things we often say is eat from the rainbow. So foods of many different colors. Of course, that does not mean Skittles.
Yeah.
That looks great.
That looks
so
amazing.
good. Yum.
Great colors, beautiful health. You know this is going to taste good and be good for you.
Oh,
Wonderful.
Beautiful,
Daniel,
Sally.
Hey.
It's gorgeous.
Can you try a little?
Yeah. Pass it around.
Yeah.
How many guys here?
Round of applause.
I think so, yeah.
Come on. Absolutely. Here, take the salad. Take the salad.
You know, Rick took the protein. He's been well trained.
There you go. Here we go.
I'm good.
Rick, you're the best.
That's
You guys, all of these recipes are in the Daniel Plan book, the trade book that's out now. There's a 40-day food plan at the back of the book with recipes in it. And then in March,
Wow.
we'll have a full cookbook of 100 recipes from our signature chefs and Dr. Aim and Dr. Hyman, Pastor Rick. I have to taste them too.
All right, this
Wow.
is a guy's recipe. So ladies, you don't have to pay attention. Okay? Really simple. The ladies
Is this a Super Bowl
This
recipe?
is a Super Bowl recipe. We're going to make an artichoke hummus. Guys, we call it bean dip, okay? All right, 1 can of garbanzo beans drained and rinsed. 1 can of artichoke hearts drained and just chopped up. Guys, doesn't matter how you chop it, just cut it up. Okay?
Robert, where do you get the artichoke hearts?
Albertsons.
All right. Are they frozen or frozen? You can get them frozen, right?
can.
Yeah, and you can.
Yeah, these are-
Frozen or canned. These are canned just right out of the can. But rinse them off. But these are all organics. And you know which aisle that is, right? It's the green aisle, not the red aisle.
Actually, canned foods are okay if they have ingredients you recognize.
Read the label.
Right. It should say artichokes, water, and salt. It shouldn't have a whole bunch of ingredients you don't recognize, can't pronounce, or in Latin. Right?
Don't buy it.
That's right.
That's right. 2 cloves of garlic. If you like a lot of garlic, use bigger cloves.
Or add
Okay.
more.
Lemon juice, olive oil, and
Mustard?
tahini.
Or
That
tahini.
smells
That's
amazing.
pureed. That's sesame seeds pureed. If you can't find that, natural peanut butter, no sugar added would be good.
Very high in calcium.
A little bit of salt and pepper. Not much. Guys, this is the good part. That's it. Okay? If you like, I like it kind of chunky. If you want it smooth, go take the dog for a walk, come back and turn the machine off. So if you want a little more chunky, what you can do is just add a little more water to it.
I like the smooth one.
Really simple, right? Wow. Who's playing in the Super Bowl this year? Denver? Yeah, there you go.
You know, and the thing about hummus too is when you buy store-bought hummus, oftentimes they add chemical preservatives. So when you make it at home, it's clean.
And use a spoon for tasting. Remember, this we taste with, this we do not. No double dipping. So what can you do with? Obviously, carrot sticks or pita chips. I put some in a little Belgian endive with little black sesame seeds. An artichoke you put it back into, or just like Mom used to make with peanut butter and a celery stick, put the hummus in a celery stick. Simple, right? You can do this? Excellent.
All right.
That's great.
Robert, you have some, oh, thank you. You have some phrases that we've kind of coined of Robert's grab and go techniques. Tell them how you kind of prep on a Saturday or a Sunday to be really efficient throughout the week. I always thought that was so practical.
I spend about an hour a week on just cutting up vegetables on Sunday afternoon. So this is my prep time. And in my refrigerator, I have all the big stuff on the bottom. And as I move up in the refrigerator, I put the little stuff on top. And I love these Tupperware Ziploc containers in it, because I'll stage the meals in here, so all I have to do is grab it, and I'm out the door. In the morning, I got little containers of blueberries. He grabbed and go.
It's okay though, it's a high protein snack. It's a good one.
High protein, lots of fiber, keeps you moving, so to speak.
Yeah. In a good way.
Simple things. Remember, keep it simple. I'm a guy, I like it simple.
Okay, I'll add one more simple tip. This came from Daniel Amen's wife, Tana Amen, who is a life coach, has been instrumental with the Daniel Plan. And she not only has the grab and go, but she'll boil like a dozen hard-boiled eggs for the week. She'll grill the chicken for the week. She'll get the hummus set for the week. And so then literally when you're wanting to grab and go in the morning, you do grab those veggies, you grab those containers. You can pack a lunch easily. You can come home and have a dinner easily. You never get hungry on this plan. And so that's the beauty of it. Thanks you guys so much. Are they amazing?
Yeah.
Woo!
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Daniel, you can come and stay up with me.
I think I'm going to put the clicker down somewhere. The clicker.
All right, I don't think Dr. Amen needs really an introduction.
I need a clicker.
Oh, he's giving a... I do just want to say that Dr. Amen has been with us from the very beginning, day one. The Washington Post states him as the most popular psychiatrist in the world. Is that crazy? The most popular psychiatrist in the world. And then we get to know and love him at the Daniel Plan as a Saddleback member, a founding doctor, and just has been a true friend to our entire team, our congregation. So another round of applause, Dr. Amen.
Thank you. So my job for the next few minutes is to help you stay focused, because that's one of the really important parts of the Daniel Plan. Let's see if I can get this to work. Come on. No. Please help me. It's fighting with me. All right. So we're going to talk about the science of self-control, because that's really the thing that gets you out of trouble. It gets you in trouble, right? Is that your cravings get you, and then you start making bad decisions. So it's really the quality of your decisions that determine whether or not this is going to be successful for you. So the first thing is know your motivation. Why do you care? It's critical. You actually want to write it down. Why do I want to succeed on the Daniel Plan? For me, it's really clear. I have a family I love. Love my wife, my 4 kids, and I am having so much fun with my 5 grandchildren. But you know, so I've been a psychiatrist for 30 years. I have seen a lot of people who've not taken care of themselves become burdens on their children. And I never want to be a burden to my children. But that means you have to use the big brain God gave you to think out 10, 20, 30 years and go, how do I want to be then? So on the handout that we gave you, I'd actually like you to start writing it down. While you're here today, what are 5 reasons why you must be healthy? So some of mine are to have great energy, because I believe what we're doing in the Daniel Plan and what we do at Amen Clinics is really important. So I need to have great energy. And I'm totally vain. My face has been seen all across North America, like hundreds of thousands of times on public television. So I want to look good. I don't know. I like being in the same jeans I was in when I was 18. I mean, you know, some of my more spiritual friends will say that's vain, but I like it. And I want to be able to make great decisions. Why? I'm the CEO of a company. I'm a husband and a father and a grandfather. I'm part of this brain trust to create the Daniel Plan. I need my brain working right. And those that were here this morning or last night heard me say, as your weight goes up, the size and function of your brain goes down. Oh my goodness. I read that first study and I lost 25 pounds. I was so horrified. I want you to be horrified too. The fat on your body is not your friend. So the fat in the food we just make, that's your friend. But big belly, do you know what? Is anybody besides me bothered by all the pregnant men in our society? I'm like, dude, deliver the baby. Belly fat, what belly fat does is it turns healthy testosterone that makes you virile and strong and turns it into unhealthy forms of estrogen that increase your risk for cancer. And it's a bad thing. I want to be a great role model. Now you go, well, you know, you have to be because you're on TV. And yes, it's true. I'll go over to Mother's Market and people recognize me and they'll look in my shopping cart. It's so irritating. But what's more important to me is at the 11 o'clock service, Liam was here, who's my 2-year-old grandson, who I adore. I want to be a good role model for him, because then you can begin to see how that has eternal value. Because as Liam grows up in a healthy environment, he is going to raise his children in a healthy environment, and you see how it gets passed on. Your habits, I hate to break it to you, they're not about you. They're really about generations of you, and people are watching you. And then, of course, I want to avoid the dinosaur syndrome, big body, little brain. Also, as you write down the 5 reasons why you must get healthy, I want you to pick one image on why you must be healthy. What one image reminds you immediately? Did you know your brain is 50% visual? 50% of your brain is dedicated to vision. So immediately, what's that image? And this is Emmy on the screen. If you put up Emmy. Emmy is my 2-year-old granddaughter who, when she was 5 months old, started to have wicked seizures. In fact, in one day, she had 160 seizures, and it horrified me. And immediately, I'm on the phone, I'm helping figure out what's going on, and on a very special diet, she has been seizure-free for about 18 months. And I'm so excited about that. So food is medicine or food is poison. But I know if I keep my brain in good shape, that Emmy is gonna have a much better life. And so when I think of the brownies or the chips or a cheeseburger, I'm like, do I need that? Because what I really need is good brain function so I can be a good grandfather. Does that make sense? So whatever that image is for you, you want to post it where you can see it every day. There's also a very interesting exercise. I talk about this in the book. I call it the fork in the road. I want you to vividly imagine a future of bad habits. So if you just go with the bad habits that you've had, what is your future going to look like? And the science says you're going to have decreased mental capacity, and that you're not going to be well, and your brain will be smaller, and you'll look older, and you won't make as much money, and your relationships won't be good, and you'll be always tired. But I want you to focus on that. Too often, I thought when I was going to be a psychiatrist, my job was to lower your anxiety, teach you meditation and hypnosis, let's all chill out. And then I realized that's not my job at all. My job for a lot of my patients is to give them more anxiety so they'll actually do what I ask them to do. And then after you go down the left side of that fork, I want you to go down the right side and imagine in vivid detail a believable future of health. So if you do the 5 pillars of the Daniel Plan, I want you to use your mind and focus on what's life going to be like 10 days from now. Because as Dr. Hyman said, it doesn't take long. But then what will my life be like 6 months from now, a year from now? One of our guys, his name is Steve, was 640 pounds when he started the program. In 4 months, he lost 160 pounds. And today, he is down 400 pounds. You can do this. None of it's hard. Being sick is hard. I want you to always protect your decision-making ability. So, you want to make good decisions, know why you care, you have to stabilize your blood sugar. So when we had these great shakes to start the day, stabilizing blood sugar, protein in the morning. A protein shake, that's how I start virtually every day. So, and then you have to eat. So I eat, 4 or 5 times a day. But for me, it's calorie smart and it's whole high quality food. And you gotta sleep. If you're not sleeping, you need to see that as a problem and start sleeping. And then I want you to check your important numbers like vitamin D. Low vitamin D levels, the hormone leptin that tells you to stop eating doesn't work. So optimize your vitamin D level. Eat fish at least once a week. Take fish oil. I'm a big believer. I hate alcohol. I'm not at all with those people who go, I should be drinking 2 drinks a day. That's good for my heart. Yes, people who do that have a smaller brain. And when it comes to the brain, size matters. And then you want to stop lying to yourself. We'll talk about that, but very briefly. And then I want you to remember these 2 words. These are the most important words in the English language when it comes to your health. Then what? If I do this, then what happens? If I eat this, then what happens? If I stay up too late, then what happens? So, I don't have time to go through all of these, but I'm going to give you an exercise that has been found to be as effective as antidepressant medication. Whenever you feel sad, mad, nervous, or out of control, write down what you're thinking. And then talk back to it, just like you were a teenager talking back to your moms. How you think dramatically affects how you feel in every decision you make. So some of the little lies, some of you act like you're 4 years old. I don't want to deprive myself. And so you have a little tantrum, and then you have the 3rd bowl of ice cream. Use your big brain that God gave you. If you do that, you're depriving yourself of what you really want most, which is your good health. I can't eat healthy because I travel, which is total nonsense. Mark and I travel more than any of you, and we just plan. We use the front part of our brain that is involved with planning. Or my whole family is overweight. It's in my genes. I hate to break it to you, but only about 20 to 30% of your health has to do with your genes. The rest is your behavior. Or I can't afford to get healthy. Being sick is always more expensive than getting healthy. I can't find time to work out, except if you work out, you'll actually be sharper and it will save you time. Or I love this one, it's Easter, Memorial Day, July 4th, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. There is always an excuse to hurt yourself. At the Amen Clinics, we started our first weight loss group December 1st. It was called Lose Weight Through the Holidays. The week of Christmas, we had an average weight loss of 2.5 pounds. It's just focus. Why am I going to gorge so that I have to suffer in January? That is not the sign of a big brain. One of the most important things, and Pastor Warren's just such a great example of this, it's failure is never fatal unless you stop trying. So I draw this diagram for my patients all the time. I said, look, you do the things that we ask you on the Daniel Plan, you'll get better. But nobody just gets better. It's up, and then it's back, and then it's up, and then it's back. And what we want you to do is turn bad days into good information. I want you to be the scientist and the subject. So as he had a setback, he's like, well, I don't want that. So and it's like, oh, we're writing the book about that. Got back on, dropped 35 pounds. So if this is like your 15th go at getting well, it's like, it only took me about 30 times. You know, it's the dinosaur thing that got me. I don't know what'll get you, but you just keep working it until you get it right. So don't think of mistakes as you failed. Just, it's, you know, what does your GPS say? Make the next legal U-turn. You know, one of the things that really gets after people is untreated brain issues. If you have things like ADD, anxiety, depression, addictions, and grief. But these are all treatable disorders, and what we've discovered is many of them don't need medication. What they need are the strategies we lay out in the Daniel Plan. You know, Rick talks about it's great for physical health, and I nudge him and I go, it's the same plan for mental health. And so I just want to finish with this story. This is Sammy, 12 years old, and Chris, her mom. And Sammy died when she was 12 of bone cancer. And her mom experienced such horrible grief that she just literally went to bed and ate and drank herself. And on the 2-year anniversary of Sammy's death, Chris decided she was going to kill herself. And she had it planned out. And the night before, she was watching public television and saw me on public television. And she thought, well, I'm going to get Dr. Amen's book. And if it's a bad book, I'll kill myself tomorrow. And she's telling me this, and I'm horrified. But she said, and this, I love what she said. She said, I'm a really good student. And she said, I'm just going to do everything that you said. And so she stopped drinking, stopped the bad food, started walking. And within 8 days, she lost her craving. She started to sleep. When she woke up in the morning, she was not waking up in a panic. And then I met her 10 weeks later, where she was down 24 pounds, but she's happy because she's doing the right things. So this is where she was a year later. So, and what Chris has asked me to tell you is to never let grief be your excuse to hurt yourself. You always want to do the right things if you love the biggest gift that God's given you, which is your mind and body. Thank you so much.
Now, before we go to the next major factor, remember there are 5 factors in the Daniel Plan. We don't call it the Daniel Diet because it's more than just food. It involves food, fitness, and then focus, friends, and faith. Focus, friends, and faith are the secret sauce. Those of you who were here in the service earlier today or last night know we played a little clip from the Dr. Oz show, who, when I started the Daniel Plan, and I enlisted Dr. Oz, Dr. Hyman, and Dr. Amen to help put this thing together. And Dr. Oz was the first guy who said, what you guys have come up with is the secret sauce. Because you can go into any bookstore and find 500 books on getting healthy or on losing weight or whatever. And by the way, it's not all about just losing weight. Some of you need to gain some weight, okay? Because of what your metabolism is doing. But he said, you know, most books, they all have to do with either fitness or food because it's not rocket science. I said this earlier. that you've got to expend more calories than you take in. And that's not rocket science. And there are 1,000 books that will tell you different ways to take in calories and different ways to expend calories. What makes the Daniel Plan different, and we call it the Daniel Plan, not the Daniel Diet, because it's more than just a diet, is that it involves these other 3 factors: focus, friends, and faith. Now, before we go to the next F, which is on fitness, and we bring out our fitness guys, I want to just take about 5 minutes to talk to you about 3 steps in overcoming temptation. So you just write this down, because you're going to need this in every area of your life, not just in food temptation. Most people fight temptation the wrong way. Now, I actually have a 6-week series on this, so I'm going to just summarize 3 points very, very quickly in about 5 minutes. The 3 things you have to do in order to break through a temptation, to overcome any kind of temptation. Number 1 is avoid it, and I'm going to talk to you about that. Number 2 is refocus, not resist. That's the second thing. And then number 3 is have an accountability partner. Those 3 things are the only way you ever break through an addiction, an attraction, a compulsion, or whatever. Now, you start with avoiding it. The best way to deal with temptation is not put yourself in tempting situations. If you don't want to get stung, you stay away from the bees. If you're trying to not drink, you don't go to a bar to eat pretzels. Okay? All right? Guys, if you have a pornography addiction, you simply don't walk into newsstands at airports and things like that. You stay away if you don't want to get stung. So the starting point is this. If you want to change the way you're eating, you need to predetermine your pattern of temptation. Now let me explain what I mean by this. You already have a predetermined pattern of temptation, and you need to ask yourself 4 or 5 questions. You need to ask yourself first, when am I most likely to be tempted? When? And that means sometimes certain days of the week you're more tempted than other days. Some days it's Mondays for some people, it's Fridays for others. It's morning for some people. It's different times for different people. For instance, my temptation with food is the time between dinner and midnight. Okay? I can handle any diet until 7 p.m. And then during the hours between dinner is over and I go to bed, that's when I get the munchies, okay? Some of you are identifying with this. Others, it's different times, different ways. So you need to know, when am I most likely to be tempted? And that includes knowing emotionally, when I'm stressed out, when I'm tired, see, a lot of times when you think you're hungry, you're really just thirsty. And what you need to do is you need to drink a glass of water. You're not hungry, you're thirsty. And you go and you open the refrigerator and you look and you kind of grouse around on that. Another time is when you're tired and you don't need to eat, you just need to go get some shut-eye, things like that. So you predetermine when, you determine where am I most tempted, and if for instance, if you're tempted for the pastries when you're going in to get your Starbucks, stop going to Starbucks. It's just real simple, okay? Get your coffee somewhere else where you don't see that line of all the other stuff before you go up to get your coffee. You need to ask, who is with me when I'm tempted? Are there certain friends that when you're with them, you tend to be more tempted than others because you're going to eat what they eat? We talked about that earlier. Mark talked about it earlier. You need to ask, what temporary benefit am I going to receive from the temptation? And you see, anytime something gets repeated in your life, it's because it's being rewarded. Now, parents, this is true of children. It's true of husbands, it's true of wives, it's true of everybody. Anytime something is being repeated over and over and over, it's because there's a payoff. It may be a negative payoff, but there is a payoff. For instance, if mom calls everybody, it's dinner, supper's ready, okay? Everybody get to the table, and nobody comes. And then she says again, it's dinner, everybody come. and nobody comes. And then it says, it's dinner, get in here. And everybody comes in. Guess what? We are training mom to be angry. Why? Because we're rewarding the yelling. We didn't reward the other stuff. So anything that you do that is harmful, that is negative, that is not good for your body or for your mind or your spirit, that is being rewarded somehow, that's why it's being repeated. So you need to predetermine the pattern of your temptation. When, where, with who, why, and you need to know this, and then you avoid those places, and you avoid those times. You be aware of it. The second thing in temptation is don't resist it. Now you're saying, did I hear you just right? Yeah, you did hear me right. Wait a minute. A pastor is telling me to not resist temptation. Yes, I am exactly telling you, don't resist it. Instead, refocus. Now I want you to write this down. Whatever you resist persists. Whatever you resist persists. In other words, you build it in deeper into your life. It's like a nail, and every time you try to resist it, you're hammering that nail deeper and deeper into the wood. Now, the Bible tells us in James that every temptation starts with a thought. The battle starts not out there, the battle starts in here between your ears. The temptation is not that. The temptation is in your brain. I'll give you an example. I have never, ever in my life been tempted to smoke a cigarette. Not once. My brother was a lifelong smoker. I never once had a temptation to smoke a cigarette. Why? Because in my brain, I had built a different mentality. The temptation is not out there. The temptation is in here. And what you have to do is change what you're thinking about, not change the external circumstance. So whatever you resist persists. I mean, when I was a little kid, my mom would sometimes make chocolate chip cookies, hot chocolate chip cookies, and she'd lay them out on the kitchen table before dinner. And I would walk up to that table, and my nose would be right there, and I'm looking at these chocolate chip cookies. And my mom would say, now, Ricky, don't you eat those cookies. I'm not, Mom, I'm just looking. And so it's like if there's something you don't want, you don't resist it. You don't go, I don't want it, 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 I just ate it. Last month, at the beginning of the month, I went to New York City to do 24 media interviews in 4 days. And Dr. Amen and Dr. Hyman went with me, and we just did interview after interview after interview over 4 days. And one night we went out to dinner, and it was at the end of the day. We had done 10 different interviews that day. And as we sat down, the waiter came in, and he brings this fresh pile of beautiful yeasty rolls. And then the butter and all the other stuff. And it sits it right in front of my nose. And it's wafting up here, okay? Now, let me just give you the thing. After knowing what Dr. Hyman said about gluten and what about flour, that actually flour turns the belly fat faster than sugar does, you know, you should eat the butter and forget the roll, okay? Okay, really, it would actually be healthier, okay? No, don't eat either. But the bottom line is, I'm sitting there and I turn to the guys and go, this is really tempting me, you guys. Okay, now, first thing I did right was tell a friend. Okay, tell a friend. The second thing is my friend called the waiter and said, would you please remove all the bread and butter dishes and the bread? I said, yes, sir. He took away the bread, took away the butter dishes, and went away. And Daniel looks at me and he goes, better say no once than 37 times. You know what I'm saying? If it had sat there in front of me the entire night, I would be going, that sure would taste good with this. That sure would taste good with this. Man, I'd like to have that. And, well, make the decision once. And so you remove it, you avoid it, you remove it. You don't resist it, you replace it. If you're watching TV and there's a show on there that you know you shouldn't be watching, it's filling your mind with poison. You don't just go, I don't want this show, I don't want this show, I don't want this show. Wow, whoa. No, you just turn the channel. So the key to temptation is not resisting, it's refocusing. I want you to say that with me. The key to temptation is not resisting, but refocusing. And when I'm tempted in any area, the key is to not say no, 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 because the whole time you're saying no, you're focusing on what you don't want, and whatever you focus on is gonna get you. Have you ever been on the top of a cliff and you look down over a large cliff and you feel like this temptation is to fall off, or maybe even to jump off, and you just kind of look at, why? Because whatever you focus on, you move toward. So, remember, Dee started off by saying, this is not about deprivation, it's about abundance. Don't focus on all the stuff you're not gonna eat or you're not gonna do. Focus on the stuff you are gonna eat and on the stuff you are gonna do. So, you avoid and you refocus. Then the third thing is you have a partner. I said this in one of the services earlier today. Everybody needs a buddy. Everybody needs a buddy. The Daniel plan cannot be done by yourself. If you try to do it by yourself, you will not last. I just don't have any hope for you. You won't last. You'll do it for a while and then you'll quit. You need a buddy. You need a partner. You need to be in a small group. That's why today when we're selling the books outside, you can get them half off from what they'd be in a bookstore, but when you buy one here at Saddleback, I'm giving you a second one free. I'm forcing you to take two. Why? Because if you only buy one, you're gonna go home, read the book, and put it on the shelf, and that's it. You cannot do the Daniel plan on your own. You gotta do it with a partner. That we found out in studying those the 15,000 people who lost £250,000 over that year, that people who were in a small group, people who had a partner, lost twice as much weight, twice as fast. If there was more confession of temptation, there'd be less need for the confession of sin. You need a friend. Now, who is a friend? A friend is somebody who's gonna love you unconditionally. A friend walks in when everybody else walks out. And when you mess up, a friend doesn't rub it in, they rub it out. And a friend is somebody you can call and say, I'm having a tough time today. It's a tough day. I'm being tempted in this. And they're not going, holy moly, you're tempted in that? Now, let me just make this really clear. It is not a sin to be tempted. Temptation is giving in to a sin. It's not a sin to be tempted. You're never gonna come to the point in your life that you have no temptation in your life. The Bible tells us Jesus was tempted in every point like as we, yet he did not sin. So it means Jesus went through every known temptation, but he didn't sin. It's not a sin to be tempted, it's a sin to give in. So what you wanna do is you say, of course I'm tempted in this area. I'm being tempted right now. And you ought to have somebody that you can call. So, know where you're tempted and avoid those things. Just don't go there. Some of you need to go home and clean out your refrigerator, clean out your what do you call it? Pantry, that's the word, pantry. You guys, I did this just yesterday. When I went home from the Saturday night service, somebody on my staff gave me this giant box from somebody who'd given me a late Christmas gift. I got it home, I opened it up, it was chocolate-covered everything. I mean, pretzels and donuts and you know, on and on and on. There was probably 50 packages, okay? And it sat on that table, you know, for the better part of a day, and then I'm just going, are you kidding me? I'm gonna walk past that all the time and be tempted, okay? So I went through it real quick. I found one thing. There was a thing of unsalted almonds. I go, I can take that. I packaged it all up and I got rid of it. Why? Because I'm not gonna make that decision 100 times. So some of you need to go home and clean house. Does that make sense? All right, now we're ready for the next F. And the next F is fitness. Fitness involves rest and fitness involves exercise. There are only two ways to manage your energy, exercise and rest. If you don't have time for rest, and if you don't have time for exercise, you are too busy. We talked about that in the service, and we're going to talk about it now in detail. Dee?
I'd like you to welcome Sean Floyd. He's an international authority on fitness, weight management, and healthy living. For the last 20 years, he's really devoted his life to cracking the code on fitness. He is an author, an exercise physiologist, a speaker. He's a founder of Win Today Wellness, and we have just had the pure privilege and joy to have him be on the Daniel Plan team. He wrote the fitness chapter in the 40-day fitness plan within the Daniel Plan book. Let's give him a big round of applause. Woo!
Thank you, man. Thanks, Dee. Thanks, kid. Thanks so much. Hi, everybody. How are we doing? You enjoying yourselves? You've been sitting way too long. Stand up, everybody. Yeah, come on. Here we go. What I want you to do is I want you to look at the person next to you, give them a high five, and tell them, I'm glad you're here. Yes, exactly. Are you glad you're here, Saddleback? Okay. So, have a seat, have a seat. Have a seat. Okay, are you comfortable? Stand up. That's right. Here we go. Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Okay, stay down. You can relax. So good to be here with you guys. So good to be working with the Daniel Plan. So excited to be here. So, I have a question for you. First question, you ready? Do you have your notes with you? Do you all have your notes? You have a pen? I'm gonna ask you to take a couple notes. I wanna ask you a question. When you see this word, or hear this word, exercise, what comes to mind? Throw it out. Wow, you guys are angry, right? There are a lot of connotations. What we're gonna talk about, though, really is this question. Why don't we? How many of you, show hands, how many of you believe exercise is good for you? Wow. How many of you believe it's good for your body? Good for your heart? Good for your muscles? So why don't we do it? Right? It's one of the best. Actually, write this down. The number one intervention to improve your health is exercise. The number one. Why don't we? 70% of us, 7 out of 10 of us, are not performing enough exercise just to maintain, not improve, just to maintain our present health. Isn't that amazing? So here's a question for you. Why? What's the number one barrier, guys? What do you think the number one barrier is? Time, right? How many of you have ever been to a circus or seen on television, a performer will take a dowling or a stick, put a plate on top of it, and begin to spin? You seen this? And then they get 2 plates going on sticks, then 3, 4, 5, and pretty soon they're running back and forth. They got 6 to 10 plates spinning. Do you ever feel like that? And then somebody like me coming up in this shirt. Do you like my shirt? My wife and kids walked up to me. I'm wearing this shirt and I had it untucked. And they're like, no. It's too long. Does it look okay tucked in? Okay. All right. Thanks. But where were I talking about? Oh, so spinning plates, right? What is it like for someone like myself or the doctors or Rick or anybody to come up to you and say, but you need to exercise when you've got all these plates going, right? Do you want to just throw something at us? It's hard, isn't it? It's not easy. So what I want to talk to you about today are 3 steps. 3 steps to help you get fit and stay fit. Are you glad you're here? Yes. Are you glad you're here? Yes. Okay, good. Now, how many of you would like to learn how to burn 9 times more body fat? Okay, we're going to talk about that. We're going to do that. How many of you would like to look 10, 15, even 20 years younger? We're going to talk about that. Okay, are you ready? Got to go fast though. Here we go. So, step number 1, write this down. Step number 1, we need to learn how to dream big. Okay, write that down, dream big. What I want to do with you, I want to take you through an exercise, a mental exercise. So do this for me, guys. Sit back in your chair. If you want, put your papers or your notes in your lap. And I want you just to kick your feet out, okay? Just relax. Don't go to sleep on me, though, okay? Now, what I would like you to do, I want you to close your eyes if you're comfortable, and I want you to take a deep breath. Inhale as deeply as you can, and then slowly exhale. Just relax. A lot of information today, a lot of great stuff. Take another deep inhale, and as you do that, as you're breathing, slowly exhale. I want you to picture yourself in your favorite vacation spot, your favorite place of rest. See yourself there. Picture yourself. Take another deep breath. Now I'd like for you to picture yourself. Imagine yourself as healthy and as fit as you could possibly be. Look at your face, look at your body, look at your life if you were as healthy and as fit as you could possibly be. What do you look like? What do you feel like? What is different about you? If you had one dream, one wish for 2014, what would it be? Don't worry about failure. It's guaranteed. It's going to happen. What would you dream? What would you wish for? Take another deep breath for me. Inhale as deeply as you can. Slowly exhale and go ahead and open your eyes. Ah. Where did you go? Okay, show of hands. How many of you went to the beach as your favorite vacation spot? All right, all Southern Californians, right? Online, where did you go, right? How many of you went to the mountains? Where did the rest of you go? So maybe asleep, we're not sure, right? Okay, so what did you see? When you looked at your face, what did you notice about your face? As healthy and as fit as you could possibly be, what did you notice? Happy, smiling, less stress, right? Okay, then you looked at your bot, right? What did you see? What did you see? Come on, guys, what did you see when you saw your body? Huh? Right? Right? Come on. So, it's awesome picture. Isn't this fun to see? Now, did you think of a wish or a dream? Is there something that you would like to accomplish in 2014? What I want you to do, write that down. If you have an idea, now I will challenge you to do this. Pray about it. Ask God, what is it, Lord, that you want me to do this year with the body you've given me? Let me tell you a quick story. I was walking in a buffet line. Always a great place to walk as a trainer, right? Especially for the person here in front of me. It was a pastor friend of mine. He turned to me, and I thought he was going to say something interesting, but he said this to me. He said, Sean, I want to lose 30 to 40 pounds. And I said, great. And he said, I'd like for you to help me, but let me tell you why. He said, it's obviously I want to look better, but this is my reason. I'm 60 years old right now. I want to share the love of Jesus Christ with as many people as I possibly can. That's why I want to get healthy. Do you see that? He said this, guys. He said, I want to be fit to serve. He connected something very powerful. For me as a trainer, I thought, that's brilliant. We've got to understand what is our why. So this is what I'd like for you to do, guys. On your notes, I want you to think about what's your big dream for 2014? Maybe it's a weight loss goal. Maybe it's something else related to your health. But what if it's another dream? What if you want to start an orphanage in India? What if it's you want to travel to some location you've never been before that requires your fitness and your health and your well-being? Write this down. The term is Daniel Strong. Daniel was a very powerful man, physically, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, all these areas we're talking about. And I'd like you to write this down. Daniel Strong means excellence, pursuing excellence in our body, mind, and spirit. That's why Daniel ate healthy, was to glorify God. That's why. There was a deep reason. And honestly, guys, if we can find this reason, maybe it's to see your daughter get married. That may be your reason. And she's a toddler right now. That's a good reason. So I would encourage you, think about that reason. That's really important. We'll come back to this a little bit later. Next step. What we're going to talk about is what's the best exercise? If you want to lose weight, you want to get healthy, you want to get fit, what's the best exercise? Anybody know? Walking. And you know what it really is? It's the one that you will do. Right? True? Come on. I mean, somebody can tell you you've got to do this or that, and you're like, okay, and you'll do it for a week, right? Same with me. We'll do it for a week, and then we'll go, I don't like that, right? So I want to talk to you about your second step. Step number 2. What if we learn how to play again? Okay, go back with me. You're 10 years old. Do you remember? Everybody go like this. 10 years old. Think about, what is that, 5th grade? 5th grade? Yeah, around there. Picture yourself in 5th grade. What did you love to do? You know what, guys? When we were 10 years old, we didn't exercise. You know why? We didn't have to. Because we were playing all day long. 100 years ago, we didn't talk. I'd be out of business. Exercise didn't exist. You know why? Because our entire day was exercise. We were always moving. Now, you know what we do? Right? Let me show you some stats. The average person will sit anywhere from 7.7 to 15 hours a day. On average. Get ready. I want to show you some staggering research related to this. University of Missouri found if you sit for longer than 3 hours at a time, you actually turn off a fat-burning enzyme called lipoprotein lipase that actually prevents you from burning fat. So we're actually teaching our body to store more fat if we're sitting for too long. Isn't that amazing? Let me show you another one. This was really one that blew me away. American Cancer Society found if you work out an hour in the morning or you work out an hour at night, great workout, but you sit most of the day, guess what they found? It negates the health benefits of your workout. Huh? Like we're not even exercising anyways, and now we got this information? I mean, come on. This one is amazing. Mayo Clinic found if you sit for longer than 3 to 4 hours at a time, it's equivalent to smoking a pack and a half of cigarettes to your health. Is that amazing? Okay, how many of you sit most of the day? Most of us do. We're knowledge workers. We're paid for our knowledge. So, how many of you would like to learn how to look or feel 10 or 20 years younger? Yeah? How many of you would like to burn 200 to 300 calories a day at work without sweating? Yeah? Okay. Can I get an amen? I've always wanted to do that in a church. That is so cool. You can increase your metabolism without sweating, you can turn on your fat-burning enzymes. You guys want to see some stuff? Yeah, enough talking. Okay, we need to learn how to play. Let me just give you the acronym. PLAY stands for Daniel moved, obviously, throughout his day. And I'm going to share with you a story in just a moment. What if, guys, during our day, we got up from our desk? Write this down. This is one of my best tips, I think, personally. Every hour, get your smartphone out, put it on your desk, set it for every hour to alarm you, to remind you to get up from your desk. That's all you have to do. Standing, research has shown if you just stand as opposed to sit for 1 to 2 minutes, actually will improve your health. What? That's amazing. What if, though, during this time, every hour we stood and we prayed? What if, huh? Let me show you something else. What if we did this? What if we did some loosening breaks, like stretching? For example, we glorify God, thanking God for all He's given us, and we give away, and we ask God to take away anything that's given us anxiety. People don't know what we're doing, but we're stretching at our desk. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Can you imagine? I'm not sure how many folks are here online, but if all of us during our day, every hour, we're just doing little micro prayers, will that help you spiritually? Helps me spiritually. Let me show you another one. There's an example of what you could do. And this is happening all over the country now, guys. Active games, sports, walking, jogging, cycling, swimming, badminton, tennis. These are all wonderful ways of moving. If it brings a smile to your face, it's an activity you're probably going to stick with. What brings you joy? What makes you feel like a 5th grader again? What is it that you just want to do? You want to go out and have fun doing? Okay? The next one is why. Oh, here's a great picture. Huh? Jumping rope? Do y'all remember jumping rope? Doing the double dutch and all that kind of fun stuff? So, the last one is youthful. If you want to look and feel younger, resistance training is one of the key elements. So, enough talking about it. You guys want to see it? Okay. Here we go, Saddleback and online and wherever you are. I have some helpers that are going to come out and help me, I hope. Dr. Hyman, Dr. Amen, would you give them a round of applause, guys, so they come on out? We'll see if they come. Oh, doctors, there they are. There's Dr. Hyman, come on, guys. So Dr. Amen's not coming?
I don't know. He got scared.
What? Okay, have a seat, my friend. You can sit down anywhere you like. Okay, guys, so what we're gonna start with is I wanna teach you how to burn 9 times more body fat.
No,
Yeah?
please.
Yeah? Dr. Amen. There's Dr. Amen. Yeah. Okay. Real quickly. Why, and the docs know this. I want you to jot this down. It's EPOC, EPOC. It stands for, don't write the definition, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. What it means is afterburn. Okay, when you work out, you ever been on a treadmill and you walk in for 45 minutes and you see that little calorie burner? Is that the most depressing thing you've ever seen? You burn 200 calories, not even a cookie or a Snicker bar, right? But what it does not tell you is when you get off of that machine, how many calories you're expending after the activity. That's EPOC, that's afterburn. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about one of the best ways to train your body. It's called interval training. Have you ever heard of that? High intensity interval training. So we're gonna raise our heart rate up and we're gonna bring it down. We're gonna raise our heart rate up and we're gonna bring it down. Okay?
I love that.
So
I do like a 7-minute workout every morning, which is interval training.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you don't have to do it a long time. So what I'd like you to do, put everything under your chairs. You're gonna do it with us. Yeah? Okay, sit on the end of your chair. First thing we're gonna start with is what's called chair jogging. We're gonna have some music to join us, okay? So docs, what we're gonna do, everybody, what I want you to do, just go ahead and swing your arms. Go ahead and hit the music, guys, nice and easy, nice and light. We're gonna go slow, just nice and easy, okay? Just to warm up. Okay, I want you to look to the person.
Look at you go, wow.
Look to the person next to you and say, here we go. All right? Now, when I say go, I want you to pump your arms as fast as you can. Okay? You ready? Docs, you ready?
Ready.
Set, go, as fast as you can. Oh, here we go, sound like. Come on. Music up there, guys. Pump it up. Oh, yeah. Come on. Get it going, get it going. Look at these guys. Oh, yeah. Good, good, good. Wow. Very good. Okay, bring it down. Music down. Bring it down. Okay, now keep moving. Come on. Slow. Nice and easy. Now bring it down a little bit now. Bring your feet into it. We're going to get our feet going now, okay, guys? All right, now.
Okay.
When I say go, I want you to burn a hole in the ground. Okay? Go as fast as you can with your feet. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Not yet, not yet. Not yet. Okay, ready?
You did it.
I did. I was showing
You
them.
did it.
I was showing them. Okay, you ready? Ready, set, go as fast as you can. Go! Oh, yeah. Very good. Come on, guys. Go, 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 go. Good, Janet. Good, guys. Oh, my goodness. Good, Doc. I love it. I love it. Come on. Remember to smile. You got to smile. Okay, bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down. Okay, we good? We good? Okay, stand up.
Okay.
Now. Good job. Good job. Good job, you guys. Give somebody a high five next to you. Yeah. Now, okay, next one we're gonna do, you have to put a smile on your face. Okay? It will put a smile on your face. We're gonna jump rope. You ready? Okay, get your jump rope. Put it behind you. Look, y'all did that. That's so cool. Okay, now, what I want you to do, watch me first. I just want you to take little jumps. You're not jumping, you're just raising on the balls of your feet. Very good. Oh, Doc, you ready?
Come on, Dr.
Okay,
Amen,
nice
go.
and slow. Nice and slow. Now, when you're ready, guys, pump the music up. Let's go. Fast you can. Go, 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 go. Oh, yeah. Good, guys. Pump it up, smile. Good job, Doc. Good job, Doc. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, that was good, right?
Okay, that was good. Now, imagine during your hourly office breaks that you get your jump rope and you're just like this. No, maybe not, right? But, Dr. Amen, can we do something with Dr. Hyman? I would like you to grab the rope, grab a handle.
Oh, no.
You ready? Jump on in. Let's see if you can double. Let's get 2 ropes. Let's get 2. You ready?
I skipped this part of recess.
You ready? Ready, Doc? Ready, guys? Cheer them on. Here we go. Come on, Billy. Here we go. Yeah. Oh. Good job. Good job. All right. Very good. Have a seat. Have a seat. So, guys, the idea of interval training is this. Raise your heart rate up. Bring it down. You could do it on a treadmill. You could do it on a bicycle. You could do it outside. You could do it anywhere. But the cool part is your EPOC, your afterburn, will be higher for 17 to 24 hours after the activity.
He's saying you lose weight while you sleep, is what he's saying.
That's right, exactly. Well said, well said. Okay, now, how about resistance training? How do we do that? How do we do resistance training we're in the office.
We resist training by getting out of the room?
Exactly. We're in the office and we're sitting there, it's been an hour, our phone goes off. What can we do to strengthen and tone our muscles? Ready, guys? Stand up. Okay, now, this is a fun one. All I want you to do is place all of your weight on your left leg. Left leg, raise your right knee up towards about hip level. Just balance. As we get older, we actually begin to lose the ability to balance. Very good. Okay, switch legs, other side. Now I'm gonna give you a test in just a moment. You could stand at your desk and just do this. Do you feel your ankle shaking? Good job, Doc. Good job. Okay, now relax. Now here's your test. Are you cheating? Oh my goodness. Okay, now this is what I want you to do. Left leg, go ahead and raise your leg up, balance yourself. I'm gonna ask you to close your eyes. Ready, set, close your eyes. Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Okay, now I wanna tell you something really interesting. And one research study showed as we get older, we lose our balance. When you close your eyes, obviously it changes your proprioception, your ability to balance. What they found was if it took 4 seconds for you to stammer or shake a little bit, your balance age is approximately 68 years old.
Oh.
Now, but if you could balance and hold this position for 20 seconds or so, you actually will lower your balance age to about 28 years old. So you can do this. This is what I want you to do tonight. When you go home, grab your toothbrush, everybody. Whatever hand, right hand, left hand. I want you to brush your teeth. I want you to raise your right leg. Dr. Amon's gonna love this one. Switch hands. A little brain exercise tonight, right? Give yourselves a round of applause, guys. Well done. Okay. Sorry, my microphone's acting up. One other exercise. How do we strengthen and tone our upper body? Go ahead and have a seat, guys. Go ahead and have a seat. How do we strengthen and tone our upper body? Well, you could do what's called a chair dip. Okay, and you guys want to try this? What I want you to do is sit on the edge of your chair. All I want you to do is place your hands right on the edge of the chair and just push yourself up and then back down. That's it. That's all you're gonna do. Push up and then back down. Now, if you want to make it a little harder, walk your feet out. We're gonna go down and we're gonna press up. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, here we go. No? Now, if you really want to make it hard, walk your feet out. Go all the way down.
I've been practicing.
Oh my gosh, these guys are studs. Give them a round of applause. Well done. So, to strengthen and tone our bodies, I want to show you one more. This is how many of you want lean legs? Yeah? Okay, go ahead and stand up. Position your feet about shoulder width apart. Place your hands in front of you. Okay? You can turn your hands down, whatever is more comfortable for you. What I want you to do is think of sitting down, but don't. Okay, so watch me. You're gonna go down, kiss the chair, kiss it, and come back up. In fact, let's all do that. When you touch the chair with your gluteus maximus, isn't that an amazing word? I mean, maximus, right? Well, not minimus. But what I want you to do, you're gonna go down. Let's go, guys, down. We're gonna kiss the chair. Good job, and we're up. How many should we do? 20, wow. How many, Doc?
100?
100? What? Okay, no, let's do 10. 10, ready guys? Starting our Daniel plan now. Here we go. Going down and up, we're yelling. 1. We're down and up.
2.
Here we go, guys, and
3.
Good job, come on.
4.
I hope you're doing this at home.
5.
Oh, that's sorry.
6.
Sorry, I can't count.
7.
Good, here we go.
8.
Keep going, almost there.
9.
Okay, wait now, stay there,
10.
stay. Get down, stay there, don't sit down, do not sit down. Now, shh. What should we talk about? The Dodgers, yeah, how about the Dodgers? Okay, go ahead and stand up. Give your buddy a high five. Thank you, Docs. Would you give the Docs a round of applause? Well done, guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, thanks very much. Those are 2 fit docs. 2 fit docs, thank you so much. Okay, guys, how we doing? Yeah? Are these things we can do? Can we do this? A minute, 2 minutes. I see some of you fanning yourself. That's good. That's great stuff. I got to move on. I'm running out of time. So here's the bottom line. The key is that we move. Just move. Doesn't have to be long. Start small. Okay? Third step. Oh, excuse me. Oh, picture of Joel. I want to tell you about Joel Guerrero. Oh my gosh, you guys. Talk about starting small. This individual, member of Saddleback Church, Pastor Rick challenged everybody, I want you to dream big. So he wrote down on a card, I want to lose 25 pounds. This was 6 years ago. He was 277 pounds. 277 pounds, wrote down, I want to lose just 25 pounds. He took a card, when he left here, dropped it off, and committed to God. Lord, help me. That's what he did. And you know what, guys? We have to admit that in many ways we're so inadequate to change ourselves. Write this down. I think this is so important. We can change our behavior sometimes, but only Jesus can change our heart. And when it comes to food, when it comes to fitness, it's not easy. Don't let anyone kid you. It's not. We all struggle with aspects of it. What if we committed it to God like Joel did? He put it in the basket, and I gotta tell you guys, I wish I could show you the picture. Not only did he lose 25 pounds, he lost over 70 pounds. Better yet, best part, he became so fit, he became a triathlete. Get this, guys, the first day when he wrote that down, he went for a walk and he said he struggled. He told me yesterday, he said, Sean, I struggled on that little walk. He's a triathlete. Get this, he's done over 31 triathlons. He is an Ironman. An Ironman is the top level of triathletes. Where's Joel? Is Joel around? There's Joel. Stand up, Joel. Yeah, Joel. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I told Joel this yesterday. The best part about this, are you guys tired of looking? Well, you're not looking at that, good. What I'm seeing is just a picture of Joel Guerrero, not a picture. Here's the key. Joel told me yesterday, he said, Sean, and he's a very humble guy. I mean, he was really embarrassed to even know that I was gonna be talking about him. But you know what he's doing? He wants to start a ministry to help people train for triathlons. Now, how cool is that? So Joel found his passion, and this is what he told me. He said, Sean, I feel God's presence when I'm training, when I'm outside, when I'm in the sun, when I'm in the woods, wherever I am. I feel God's presence and glory. Reminds me of Eric Liddell, the famous Olympian. Do you remember the quote? He said, I feel God's pleasure when I run. God made us to move. And Joel is a perfect example of that. So Joel, thank you. Great job. So I gotta go. I'm running out of time. So step number 3, can I get there? Here we go. Okay, guys, so what can we do? I would encourage you to think about what is one activity that you like. Write that down. What's something that you enjoy? What is it that you like to do? Is it walking? Our family got a new dog. Her name's Sadie. Oh, we love her. Big Great Dane. She loves to walk. I love to walk now. Brings a smile to my face. What do you enjoy? Here's my challenge to you. The next 10 days, I want you to move. Could be just this. 1 minute, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Every hour. Could be just doing some squats. Think of this, guys. If every hour we did 10 squats, how many squats by the end of the day? 80 squats? Is that gonna improve our health? You bet it will. Absolutely. So take the 10-day challenge. In the book, we have a 40-day challenge you can follow every day, but I really would encourage you, just start with 10. So write that down on your card. What is the activity you really like? What do you enjoy? Step number 3, connect. You know, guys, I honestly think one of the most important steps we can take, as Pastor Rick said, is get a buddy. Get someone that can support you, someone that can keep you accountable, someone that can encourage you. So, real quick review. And I'd like you to do this. For step number 3, write down 1, 2, or 3 people that you will talk to today about what you're committing to do. Our goals increase dramatically by 42% just by writing them down. But when you share it with somebody, it increases exponentially. Okay, so what are our 3 steps? Number 1, dream big. Number 2, learn to play. Number 3, connect with others. So I thought no better way to talk about connecting than to bring up somebody that really personifies this. And she is the assistant fitness director for the Daniel Plan. Would you please welcome Janet Hertog and her friends? Come on up, Janet. Come on up, guys. Come on up, Janet. Yeah, give them a round of applause again, guys. That's good. It's a long walk. Come on up, guys. Come on up. Come on up. Janet, come on center stage here. How are you, kid? Good. Hi, guys. How are you? Good, good. Thank you. So, Janet, would you introduce the folks you have here?
I have Caesar Michael Caesar. I've always called him both. Norma, Monica, and Richard. And Monica's beautiful son.
Thank you guys for coming. So here's the question. How do you feel that Friends has impacted, I mean, you're an instructor, I know you've been training for years, but how have Friends being together, working out together, impacted their lives and yours?
Well, when I first started teaching the class, it was about 6 months ago, and so I created a Facebook page. They all joined it, and then I became friends with them on that venue, and it's been so fun to watch them. Michael always posts every week. It's Wednesday night. Come, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it.
Nice.
And he's been just a leader as far as gathering the troops. And then Norma, she's kind of like the support group. She'll be like, after when the class is over, I'll say something like, now remember to drink lots of water and treat your body really good and love it tonight. And they'll go to Starbucks maybe, and then Richard might have something. Sorry to Richard to throw you under the bus again. But, and she'll say, Richard had, a mocha, something, and then I'll joke, okay, extra burpees for you next time. And then Monica, she just is determination. She's there. She's got a son. They're all single. Just kidding. But 3 of them are single parents, and I love that Monica comes. She brings her son sometimes. He might be on the side doing something.
Nice.
But she's setting such a great model
Yes.
for him. And then Richard, he just keeps coming. He's perseverance. He's always at class early. He's an encourager, an encouraging person. And together, it's that thing of we're better together.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I love that. I have been blessed by their friendships as well.
That's what I was going to ask you. So how has it impacted you as an instructor? I mean, what is the takeaway for you?
Oh, just the blessing to see that we're all growing. I've been on this journey for many years. People who know me, trainers have a hard time too. And
Absolutely.
Fitness people, we're all struggling as well. So I think God has put me in a great position to keep practicing as I'm on this journey. So I've been so blessed.
Janet and I were talking the other day, and we were talking about as trainers, we are so blessed because you inspire us every day, and it encourages us with our own
Yes.
personal health and fitness. So thank you
Yes.
guys for all that
They're
you do.
amazing.
Really.
Very
so
blessed.
Janet,
Thank you.
would you give it up, guys, for them? I mean, that's awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
So,
Thanks, Sean.
guys, stay here. So, there's someone I want to introduce. Some of you have already met him. Amazing trainer. We had a chance to get to know each other today. He's from Nebraska. He actually trained the University of Nebraska Cornhuskers, their team. He was at Iowa State, tremendous strength and conditioning coach. And what's the best part of this, he is also the Angels. He is our Pastor Rick's personal trainer. So would you please welcome Tom Wilson to the stage? Come on, Tom. Come on up, buddy. Yeah, Tom. So, hey, bud. Now, the reason why we bring Tom up is because not only is he a stud, but also that he has done an amazing work here, guys, as the ministry has started. And we want to talk a little bit about what started here. And so I'm going to hand it over to Tom, but he's going to introduce some key individuals that are part of the ministry here.
Well, it pretty much started with Walk in Worship, and that was actually, it wasn't my idea, actually, it was Pastor Rick's, obviously, but it was born in his garage. He and I were working out, started talking about the physical health of the church and what we could do to help everyone in this church get back into shape. So we came up with Walk in Worship, and we didn't know where God was going to take it. We had no idea what he would do with it. It just brings joy to my heart to see all of this. And the Daniel Plan and everything that's going on with this movement, it just brings serious joy to my heart. because I know there's going to be changed lives. If you guys just get with the program, the ministries have grown. We started with Walk and Worship, but it's grown into 15 ministries now that people have stepped up, and they're volunteering their time to help you get back in shape. I ran Walk and Worship for 5 years, and when I stepped down, Jim Black stepped up, and his wife Melanie. Jim, are you here? Jim
Come on up,
Melanie?
guys. Come on up, Jim. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up.
Jim stepped up, his wife jumped in and helps him out, and they do an amazing job with Walk and Worship. But since then, there's been 15 other people have stepped up, fitness professionals, and they've started their own fitness ministries, and they're going to change lives. And it's not just your lives that'll change, but your kids' lives are going to change because they're going to follow your lead. But my prayer is that you guys get involved with one of these ministries. If it's not on the church campus, just get moving. Like Sean said, find something that you enjoy doing and stick with it, get consistent with it, and you will change. You will start enjoying some of the many huge benefits that a healthy lifestyle has to offer.
Tom Wilson, guys. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Well said. Stay here, because I want to list this. So, guys, I'm gonna call you out. I want you to run up on stage. Just don't trip. Oh, you won't trip. But here we go. These are the ministries here on campus. And for those of you that are at another campus or you're watching online, all you need to do is get a buddy and work out together. Here we go. You ready, guys? Zumba. Come on, bring it on, Zumba. Boot camp. Walk and worship. Stretch and strengthen. Basketball. Dirt bike riding. Hiking. Mountain bike riding. I like that. Golf. How about any golfers out there? Motorcycle ministry. Yeah. Softball. Surfing. Is that cool? Surfing. You want to learn to surf? We got a ministry to do that right on. Volleyball. Soccer. How many soccer players out there? Where's my daughter? Way back there, I bet. Outdoor hockey. Can you give it up for these guys? Honestly. And anybody else that I missed, come on up. Come on up. So, guys, come up. You gotta see, I mean, look, please, Janet, go.
Badminton, we have volleyball, outside volleyball, beach volleyball, softball, co-ed, cycling, road cycling. Did I miss anybody else?
Oh.
Who? Surfing,
yep.
We got that one. But yeah, and everybody's giving their time. They're
That's what's so amazing.
People.
I mean, guys,
amazing.
Honestly, thank you for touching so many people's lives, not only helping them physically, but spiritually as well. Guys, these are wonderful motivators and encouragers. These are great buddies. But again, if you don't have access to this wherever you are, just get one person that you can begin to walk with or move with. So I don't see her, but Tracy Jones, is Tracy Jones
Tracy,
around? Tracy, get up here. Okay, guys, give it up for Tracy Jones.
Yes.
You know why? Because Tracy and Ron, I don't know where Ron is, because Ron should be here. Is Ron here? But guys, this ministry is all voluntary. All of them donate their time. Some of the best classes. So yeah, guys, thank you. Thank you so much. We love you.
Thank you.
We love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. So go ahead and we'll escort you guys off the stage. Thanks for coming, guys. Thank you, Janet. And would you welcome back, guys, please, our director, our awesomeness woman, Dee Eastman. Dee!
Oh, nice. Thank you so much. Perfect.
Okay. Oh, and we've got more chairs.
Yep, coming up.
Good. So what can you do as your next steps? I think a great place to start is with the ministries here on campus. Get involved. Try something. Try Zumba. You know, try it. Pretty good, huh? You could try surfing. Try karate. Whatever you want to try, give it a try. I was talking to motorcycle ministry today. How cool is that? Right? So just try something. I would encourage you to do that.
Yeah, we find if you just try something new, like this year I tried a couple different classes that I had never taken. I did something off campus. I did a couple of different things that were just different types of movement, and I've grown to so enjoy some of them, and they're now part of my routine. So you can think out of the box, try something new, get involved. If you're not here on this campus, consider grabbing a walking group or a hiking group or something in your area.
Yeah.
Another thing is, if you haven't gotten the book, Pastor Rick is offering it just this weekend, last weekend and this weekend, 2 for $15. We also have an accompanying journal, as we find that people make so much more progress as they record their efforts. You can record it in this, or you can record it in a spiral brown notebook, whatever is your preference. Those are a couple other next steps as well.
So guys, one other huge next step for you is danielplan.com. Tons of resources, things that you can learn about yourself, information from the doctors, from Pastor Rick. One other thing, pull out this blue card, guys. This blue card is to really help us see if you're interested in helping this ministry. I mean, there's so many opportunities that you can help with. For example, just being a part of the social aspect of sharing the message of the Daniel Plan, or becoming a health coach. We would encourage you just to check one of the boxes that you may be interested in, and then when you leave here, just go ahead and hand this back to someone. We'll collect this for you.
Okay, and then 2 quick things on my end is I just got confirmation from Pastor Rick and the doctors that the next Daniel Plan rally will be April 27th. So if you want to pull out your phone, if you're watching online or here in the worship center, April 27th, it's the Sunday after Easter. So the doctors will be back, Pastor Rick will be back, Sean Foy, Tom Wilson, and our signature chefs for some next steps. And what we have to really look forward to next weekend, we've talked so much about changing in physical health. We've talked so much about grabbing a friend and doing this in community. And we're going to have the amazing opportunity to continue this conversation as we do the Transformed campaign. It's our greatest encouragement that you will do the Daniel Plan along with the Transformed campaign, that you'll grab a friend, that you'll jump into a small group. Materials are going to be available next weekend for that on the patio. So please don't miss it. It's going to be the most amazing campaign of our year.
So Dee, I think we're ready to close up and have the docs and Pastor Rick come back up, and Tom.
Okay,
so guys, come on back up on stage. We're going to say one last parting tip for you all.
One last tip.
Come on up, guys. Can you welcome them back on stage, guys? Here they come, Tom Wilson, Pastor Rick, Dr. Amen, Dr. Hyman.
Woo!
Have a seat, bro, wherever you like, man. Okay.
Nice going, bud.
All right, closing, 1 minute.
Where do you want us?
Okay, I'd like to hear from each of our experts here. 1 minute, 30 seconds to 1 minute of a best hope for our congregation, for those watching online as they move forward.
My prayer is this: that you get started. Start moving, start somewhere, and don't worry about what level you're at right now. Everybody's got a starting point. So don't worry about where you're at now. We can get you to the next level. Just get moving, get going with something that you enjoy doing, and start enjoying all the positive benefits of a healthy lifestyle. God wants you to be healthy, so go after it and get yourself back in shape.
Tom nailed it. I think 2 things quickly is, number 1, plan your movement before it happens. So the day before or the week before, what I do is I literally will take my phone and lock down the days and times I'm actually planning to move my body. And I would encourage you, move every hour, as we talked about. But one other thing I think is real important is give yourself grace. I think sometimes we think to be healthy and fit, we've got to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. Those times that we struggle, as Pastor Rick was sharing, give yourself a break, but keep moving forward. Forget about yesterday, just win today. And you guys have already won today because you're here, which is fantastic, so.
30 seconds.
Sorry, Mark.
And I just want everyone to recognize that you're only a few days away from health and happiness. That in a few days, you can transform the way you feel by doing the simple things that we've outlined in the Daniel Plan. It's not a book, it's a movement. I wanted to call it the Jewish Doctor's Guide to Christian Weight Loss, but that wouldn't get past the...
Okay. Well, Daniel was Old Testament, remember?
But Daniel was Jewish, okay. So it's really an invitation for you to transform your life and to then use that power of that transformation to give back and to love each other and to love the world, and to what we call in the Hebrew tradition tikkun olam, which is repairing the world, healing the world. That's why we're all here. That's what the Daniel Plan's about.
Great. Thank you, Mark.
My biggest thing I'd love you to remember is that you are not alone. We are here to support you every step of the way. We have an amazing Facebook following. You get weekly newsletters at no charge with inspiration tips. You have these doctors, Pastor Rick, a wellness faculty, wellness coaches, and so many people here to support you. So you are not alone, and change is so within your reach.
Great.
So God gave you a big brain for a reason. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. My wife says that all the time. But my heart tonight really is with our kids. You are going to role model their health. And so as you model it, they will go along with you. And just to think about this one thought. If you're pregnant with a girl, you're actually pregnant with your grandchildren because the girl is born with all the eggs she'll ever have. So your habits are turning on or off her genes. Your behavior matters. Leave here tonight knowing your behavior matters.
Two things. Number one, I'd like to have all of the men stand. And I'd like to appreciate these guys who are here today. Would you give a round of applause to the men that are here today? All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Be seated. The word of a dad, a brother, a father, an uncle, and an impact on children is enormous. It's enormous. And so much of the time, we leave the health of our society and the health of our families to the moms, the wives, the sisters, the aunts, things like that. And I'm just thrilled to see so many guys here stepping up on what really matters most. It's honestly, it's a matter of national security. I don't have time to get into that, but it is, if we don't raise the right generation in the right direction. In 2 weeks, we start 50 days of transformation. It's gonna change your life. Get in a group and get a partner. Get a group and get a partner. And we'll be glad to help you. Thank you guys for coming. You gotta get out of here because we got a service at 6 o'clock. God bless you, everybody. We're doing a service at 6. Thank you.